Hello, hi there, how are you doing? Today I would like to talk about something that always has been interesting or important to me, that is staying organized. I know they say the genius manages the chaos, but I'm not a genius, I'm just an average, messy, slightly chaotic creative. And therefore, always in danger of forgetting things, not getting things done in time, or I don't, dropping conversations that start interesting and promising, and then it's like, oops, that was 3 months ago, and obviously, then nothing comes from that. So staying organized is a pretty good idea. I've been looking for years for pieces of software, apps or so, that can help me with achieving my goals, and tried circus ponies. That was actually quite a fun note-taking app, and then they discontinued it. And then there was Asana and Trello and MeisterTask and you name it, and Kanban boards and GDD, get things done methods, and they're pretty good in project managing. Oh wow, you can spend a lot of time working with different pieces of software and trying to figure out which one is the best. But most of them are actually geared more towards teams. And what happened then is that you would create a task, or a note, a task, whatever, and then you have to give it a deadline, you have to give it a priority, you have to assign it to team members. And when do you have time to work then if you do all those things? So I wanted something that is unobtrusive, small, pretty in the corner of the desk, and there when I need it, without too much effort. Because let's face it, these things only work when you use them. For now, I ended up with some sort of a 3-block system that is my calendar, a short-term memory, and a long-term memory database, whatever. And I'm gonna show you how it works. Part 1. I'm using the Apple Calendar because that is just the most simple, straightforward thing, without any dedicated to-do functions or whatever, or any more bells and whistles. I don't do time blocking because I just want to focus on myself. Obviously, I do use traditional calendar functions like putting events with dates in, or birthday reminders. But for the sake of this exercise, I concentrate on one category that is called the day-to-day, where I put in the things that I want to do that day, and it doesn't have a time or anything. It's just very simple, straightforward. I see Instagram, LinkedIn, the gym, when I go 4 times per week, so I can just copy it over. When I have done something, like I've done it, then I delete it, or I just move it to the next time I need to use it. I put in, of course, those important things, but also let's say the simple tasks that I probably don't need a reminder, but I still do it because it's kind of a rewarding thing, because when you can tick something off. And there are also the things that require more time than just one day. Here, for example, Emerald Forest is a 3D model, and I know that I do that probably a couple more days, so I just copy it into the next few days. And I call this method the deal with it method, because I know sometimes I might not actually have the time to do something, but I still look at the calendar and I see what I have to do, or at least it's a reminder that I want to do it. And this way things don't get forgotten. It's if I move it to the next day, that is a conscious decision. To the short-term notes or short-term memory that I do in Apple Notes, because it's well, what I have, and I can therefore then easily transfer notes from the tablet or the phone to the computer, and I use that usually for copy and paste. Let's say I do social media posts, I write them down here before I copy and paste them into the post themselves, or I do quick tick off lists when I do 3D modeling, so I know the bits and pieces that I still have to do. And the idea is that this is not permanent, so once I don't need the note anymore, I simply delete it. You see here the notes that I've taken for this video, but because I did already do part of it, so I can just delete that part, or I do slightly more crazy things like this coding project together with Gabriel. Used my database, my long-term memory, and kind of a journal. Tried different things before, like Evernote or Notion, and I ended up with Bear just because it is simple. It is a markup software, so I can type faster. Not that I can really type fast, but faster. It has not that many bells and whistles. It has just enough bells or whistles to keep me going, and it's beautiful. I don't know, if that is really something important for this kind of software, but it looks good. I am not much of a journaling person, and certainly not daily, but this kind of journal thing does actually help me keeping some structure. For example, then I write down what's today's date. It's already April. Yep. You see, I'm not really that fast in typing, but okay. So I write down, for example, things that I want to remember. I was picking sticks in the park. But I can also write important things like had a conversation about new business with. Okay, and then I just put that into right here action. So this one, this way it becomes actually a to-do list item, and I check then regularly my all the to-do list items to not forget anything. It's really just like a simple old paper notebook, but it's searchable. It links things together, like for example here my car project, I have bookmarks in there, or let's say I write here my bucket list, or I have then let me see, could I have here write down recipes. So it is something that I can use for pretty much everything and all of the time, and it's always open for me to use. So now you know roughly what I'm using and what currently works best for me. It's not perfect, it works. A couple of things that I still have in mind that I'm looking, like for example a conditional to-do list where I can show dependencies between the tasks, so I know that okay, I would like to do that, but I have to do the other thing first without deadlines or priorities, just simple. The other thing is my address book. Well, in theory it kind of works, but it could be improved. Reminders to not forget people who I haven't talked with for a while, because obviously, I said I note down in my journal when there was a conversation that I like to continue, but if I just said hello to somebody, I will not note it down, which means I might forget when was the last time I did say hello to somebody. And last but not least, is there a calendar that shows 8 days? I love the weekly view because that's really the right amount of zoom to see everything that I need to see without, too much around. But as you've seen, and sometimes when I finish a task, I just move it to the next time I do the same thing, like, I don't know,
calling my mother on Sundays, and yeah, I can't just move it from Sunday to Sunday because that is 8 days, and the calendar shows only the 7. So if anybody knows an answer to that, I would be more than thankful. And yeah, in general, let's stay organized and not drop the conversation, shall we?